Welcome back. Movie Take Tuesday, the movie review nobody asked for, that I'm giving you anyway. Today, we watched, if you couldn't tell from the title, and if you couldn't tell from my sigh, we watched Red One. Now, about the title. I already knew what I was going to title this before I recorded this because I thought of the title, thought it was good. Let me just say that title is 100% clickbait. Okay, it's not as bad. The movie's not as bad as that. Okay, I just thought it was a good title and wanted to use it. All right. Yes, I lied. I don't apologize for it. Okay, on to the movie review. So, Red One. Um, it's about. Yeah, let me just give a quick overview of what it's about. Basically, the movie is about it's a Christmas movie, Santa Claus, all that mumbo jumbo. But like Santa Claus gets kidnapped. And like the whole thing of this movie is that the North Pole is kind of run like the White House, where Santa's the president and they have a secret service. So, let me start off by saying when the movie started, it immediately took me out of the movie. Let me explain. It starts off with Santa Claus as a mall Santa because he's going like undercover to like he's like, "Oh, I just, I want to see how everybody is in Seattle." Whatever. He was in Seattle. I don't know, okay? But he's the actual Santa Claus, real Santa Claus, and like he's being escorted by the Rock, which is, like the head of their secret service agency, I guess, which I don't remember what the acronym stands for, but it's ELF, which is ELF. It's like, oh, original. Sorry, I did that twice. Probably didn't do that twice. But like, come on. That's not what took me out of the movie. What took me out of the movie is when they leave the mall and they go to a United States Air Force base. What? Do people know that Santa exists? Because in the movie, like technically the first scene was like a flash, not a flashback, but like I mean, I guess it was a flashback, but it was like there's the movies where like there's a scene and it's like 17 years later, something like that. Okay, where it's like a kid is like talking about Santa, and so like it's established that like people don't know that Santa's real. They just think it's like parents doing it and whatever, but he's real in this movie. And um so they get to a US, like a United States Air Force base where his sled is with the reindeer, of course. And basically, it's established that all the world leaders know that Santa Claus exists. What? Like, yeah, okay, you could be like, oh, yeah, governments keep secrets from everyone all the time. You're telling me every world government knows that Santa Claus is real and that hasn't leaked? Please. Okay? Please. So, they get into the hangar and there's the sled takes off, but they're being escorted by F-20 jets where two officers are in them and they're just like, "Oh, we'll have Merry Christmas, sir." It's like, dude, what? And then the sled goes at like light speed. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand. I mean, I understand, but it's just like it it's a fictional movie. I understand that. Okay, fictional doesn't have to be based in reality. I get it. But, you know, okay, this is just even the beginning of the movie. Let me explain even further. They get back to the North Pole, which is covered in this like invisibility dome that like cloaks it, right? Kind of like uh, Wakanda from Black Panther, and it it's just like they have some crazy technology, which is fine. It's fictional, but the problem I have with the movie is that like if it's gonna be this fictional and this like out in left field, don't have such like real life things being like put in together with it, like a Secret Service agency, you know, code names for like Santa Claus, which it's Red One, obviously. And it has anyone ever seen Olympus Has Fallen? Thank you for answering that. I can't hear it, but thank you for answering that. If you have, you would see a lot of similarities in this movie to that, where it's like Secret Service, you know, White House down, taking over, whatever. Okay, I don't want to spoil the movie. I don't want to get too far into it, but I don't know, dude. Like the North Pole isn't just Santa's workshop with like the elves and like Mrs. Claus. It's it's a metropolis, like a city, like a big city, and like people live there, and I don't know, dude. It just like it was so absurd. I just couldn't get into it. Like it immediately took me out of it. Now, the plot of the movie was Santa gets kidnapped, and The Rock's character, the head of this like Secret Service agency, um, finds Chris Evans' character, which is like this black market, you know, well works like on the black market as a tracker to like find people, and they get him. And Chris Evans' character was great, by the way. Loved Chris Evans' character. The he did a great job. His character was funny and honestly the best part of that movie. But I just like the plot was fine. It was different for like a Christmas movie, but I the thing is it's just all so predictable. You know? It not that it's a PG-13 movie, so I don't expect a lot from it, but I expect more than this just I mean, you know, the good guy's going to win. That's pretty typical with every movie, but at least there it feels at some point like they're going to lose. You know? So there's that, and I mean no one dies, which again, PG-13, I don't want people to die. That's not an important part of a movie. But when you have people fighting for like to save Christmas, and it's this whole thing where they have like crazy technology and gadgets, which by the way, I'm going to cut here for a sec, not cut, but cut here to the Rock's character had this thing, like this gauntlet that not like Thanos gauntlet, but gauntlet that had like powers, right? These are like his powers. This is like what he uses the entire movie. It does three things. The first one's kind of cool. It can turn a toy into like an actual thing, like a Hot Wheels car into an actual car, okay? The second thing it can do is make him punch really hard. Sorry, that's just a bit. The third thing is it makes him shrink and then grow back to his original size. Now you're probably thinking, you're like, what's so bad about that? Let me tell you. It's not like Ant-Man, okay, where he gets really small and like, you know, can punch people really hard because he's small and mass. Blah, da, 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 da. He grows to about 3 foot tall. Not that there's anything wrong with being 3 foot tall. But that's like his main thing when he fights, like shrinking to 3 foot tall and then growing back to original size. Just goofy. It just looked weird because the CGI was kind of bad for it. Like it just looked off. The it didn't have like smooth transitions, you know? It was seriously just like come on, you know? Hold on. Mouth is getting dry. Um it's just kind of weird. And that's what like its three main things were. They have like unlimited technology at this like North Pole complex. They have crazy gadgets. and that's all he gets. I don't know, just kind of boring, I guess. They could have done so much more, so many cool things. Um, oh, excuse me, it's getting late. Sorry. Um, man, this movie, it 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 kept me there. You know, I just when a movie takes you out of its like setting, out of its story for even a moment, it's really really hard to get that back. And the whole movie was me trying. I mean, not really actively trying because there's nothing you can like actively do, but trying to kind of focus back on the movie and not focus on the absurdity of things happening. Does that make sense? Like when you notice something weird, you start to look for it more, right? Is that just me? It could be. Maybe that's just how my brain works. But like when you see something's off, your brain immediately just like flips a switch and goes, "Well, now I'm going to look for everything that's off." And that's what happened with this movie. And I watched and I watched, and the story was mediocre at best. It was a little different. Just kind of felt like a repurposed story in a Christmas setting, which I don't know. If you know me, which I mean you don't know me very well. I've only got like 4 or 5 videos. How many do I have? Let me check. I have 4. So you don't really know me. But I, you know, just can't like get behind a movie that just takes you out of it. And I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm not going to lie to you. It's gone. Train of thought's gone. Left the station. But yeah, it's just, oh, the same story repurposed. If you know me, you know that I don't like when new movies that come out are practically something that's already been released, right? Because, whoops, hold on, sorry. My audio was really bad in the testing, so I'm hoping that it's working now. But it just, you got to think of something original for me to really enjoy your movie. If it's a sequel, that's one thing. And if it's a remake, that's no. I don't really like remakes. I'm gonna be honest with you. Even like live action remakes, not a huge fan of them. But basically all that to say, just it was the same story, or it was a story repurposed into a Christmas setting with, albeit interesting, like ideas, but they just weren't executed very well. I found myself yearning for something a little bit more cool, a little bit more entertaining, honestly. So, I mean, all in all, I didn't hate the movie despite what the last 12, 13 minutes have implied. But I wouldn't really say I liked it either. It was meh, which, like, it's not mid. Mid is too good of a rating. I feel like meh is a good rating, which you could argue that those are the same thing, but I would say they're different. Meh. If I had to give it a score, I would say 4.5 out of 10, which I know is not the 1 out of 10 that like the title implies, but hey, like I said, sounded like a fun title, so I'm going with it. 4.5 out of 10. I wish they had done things a little differently. It was also kind of long for what it could have been. Like that could have been like an hour and a half, hour 45. It was 2 hours. And you may think, oh, like, oh, 15 minutes, big difference. It is a big difference, okay? It is. That's like 3 or 4 scenes different. Um, so, there's that. And I just, the kind of movie where you just wait for it to be free somewhere. Like You wait for it to be free on YouTube with ads kind of movie. You know? I feel like that's not a great thing to be. Free on YouTube with ads, that is not a great place for your movie to be. That's where movies go to die. But that's just kind of where I'm at with it. So a 4.5 out of 10. I think this review is just a tad shorter. Oh no, it's at 15 minutes. We're chilling. Um, all in all, I didn't hate it, and I just kind of like am whatever. I didn't waste my money going to see it, but if I had the choice, I probably would have saved it. So, in any case, that's really all I got for you guys. Yeah, I gotta. Oh no, I was gonna say the scheduling, like the YouTube coming out or the YouTube videos coming out, might be a little bit, might be delayed, but no, because this one's gonna come out next Tuesday, so I'll record the next one. No, we're chilling. So, yeah, that's all I got for you. I already have in mind the next movies I'm gonna watch, and I am not gonna tell you because I think that's the fun of it. But feel free to guess. I will neither confirm nor deny your guess in the comments. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Those are good too. And if you want to say something, disagree with me, or anything else, leave a comment. And if you find yourself coming back to this channel, which you probably aren't, or maybe you are, please subscribe. I'm kind of just doing this as a hobby, so it's not like a huge deal. You don't have to hold yourself to it if it's kind of like this channel is just like a one and done, one video and done kind of thing. All good. I don't mind. So that's it. I know what movie I'm watching next week. So with that being said, see you next Tuesday.